Iggy, happy National Dog Day. Happy National Dog Day. You like Jonas Enroth? You like Jonas Enroth? Hi, hockey internet. I'm back from Scotland, back in my basement where bloggers belong, don't you know? And a bunch of hockey stuff happened. I was on vacation, but I took time out of it, to just talk to you guys about the wonderful ice hockey community in Scotland and go really in depth, and no one cared because Jonas Enroth signed. Hey everyone, I made a video about— No one cares! Talk about the new backup goalie! Okay, I will talk about that and all the other stuff the Leafs have done, but first a trade, which I'm gonna go ahead and call that damn millennial trade. Because the trade was between the Arizona Coyotes and the Florida Panthers. With Dale Talon now in a new role, the Panthers are essentially just run by a bunch of ex-bloggers, and the Coyotes GM is like 19. John Jacob refers to Kyle Dubas as that old dude. The Arizona Coyotes get Lawson Crouse. Hey, that could be pretty good for them. And Dave Bolland. The Florida Panthers acquire a second-round pick and a third-round pick, but apparently based on conditions, it could end up being just 2/3. According to Craig Custance, if Crouse doesn't play in Arizona this season, the second-round pick becomes a third-round pick. Bolland, by the way, is a lot like David Clarkson these days. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but the guy is probably not going to play for a while. Which is where General Fanager's Twitter comes in. Get a load of this goofy BS. If Bolland is injured this upcoming season, Datsuk, who by the way is a Coyote as well, plus Bolland cap hits equal $13 million. Holy smokes! Datsuk plus Bolland's salary paid? $1.1 million. Why do people call Lou Lamoriello Loophole Lou anymore? Like, why is Roby-Dot Island a thing? The Arizona Coyotes have their own Roby-Dot Island. It's hiding right in front of you, and it's called Arizona. The Coyotes are this close from being a cap team. The Arizona Cap-Yotes. And this is where I disagree with a lot of Twitter, because I saw so many people saying that the Panthers fleeced the Coyotes in this deal. I see their point. It's under the assumption that, holy crap, I can't believe someone actually took Dave Bolland's deal, as well as, LOL, we don't think Lawson Crouse is going to actually amount to anything. But my thoughts on that regarding Crouse, you don't know that yet. He's still a first-round pick. He's still, I think he was, what, top 10, 11th overall? The guy's got potential. It's unfair to Crouse, is all I'm saying. Hey, you might be right. You also might be wrong. And sure, the Panthers might be saying, holy crap, we got rid of that cap hit, and the Coyotes at the same time are like, yes, we got that cap hit. Look, the Coyotes have an excellent prospect pool. Holy smokes, their team was young to begin with. They have some picks in the system that haven't played yet. They just picked 2 guys in the first round, and now they got Crouse. That said, not exactly a Stanley Cup contender. Meanwhile, the Florida Panthers, I would say, are one of 2 shoo-ins in the Atlantic for a playoff spot. The Lightning and the Panthers. They just signed guys like Keith Yandel, Jason Demers, James Reimer, to a bunch of money this summer. They acquired some players, and they have some restricted free agents next season. They're not exactly a team that can afford to have dead cap space anymore. They once had Mark Savard's contract, that's gone. They once had Dave Bolland's contract, that is also gone. If Crouse turns out to be really good, well, that sucks for the Panthers, but the big thing for them was getting out from under Dave Bolland's deal. If Crouse doesn't pan out and you're the Coyotes, oh, you gave up 2/3, oh heavens! I'll have to wipe my tears with Max Domi's jersey, or Anthony Duclair's jersey, or Lawson Crouse's jersey, or Jacob Chychrun's jersey, or Nick Merkley's jersey, or Dylan Strome's jersey, or should I keep going? Basically what I'm saying is Leafs Coyotes Cup final in like 4 years. Hey, you know what prospect you didn't mention? I know that, internet! Alright, Leafs Nation. Let's talk about Leafs Nation. The Leafs signed Jonas Enroth. Who called that? Who called that? It might be me. Might be me. Yeah, but this newspaper reported it, and didn't I call this in like May? Wasn't exactly hard to call. There were pretty much no unrestricted free agent goalies this summer. Very few. And a lot of them had to go to Europe too. And they may come back over, but that's after the expansion draft, and teams are worried about who they gotta protect and all that weird stuff. Anyway, Enroth's deal with the Leafs is 1 year and about 45 cents Canadian. Okay, it's actually $750,000. But in the NHL, that's nothing! I just checked. Enroth's cap hit is the 80th highest among goalies in the NHL. He's in the same range as several goalies who I think their names are just made up, I'm not gonna lie. And he's not washed up, he's 28 years old. And he's also not brand new. He's got some NHL experience, lots of it. In the Atlantic Division, too. Remember when he was with the Sabres and he was just some jerk and then he got traded to the Dallas Stars? I'm like, oh, you're adorable. His numbers aren't great. His numbers aren't bad. Last year with LA, he had a .922. That's pretty good in 16 games. Well, whatever. But I remember him saying after the season he wanted to play more games. Well, he's going to get more than 16 playing behind Freddie Anderson. Like, the fact that that the Leafs were able to get this guy with his experience on a 1-year, $750,000 contract shows how nobody needs a goalie. I kind of feel bad for the guy because he made well over $1 million the last few seasons, and he probably would have got that in free agency if there was more need for goalies, but also if the Kings had bloody played him at all last year. Enroth played fewer NHL games last season than Garrett Sparks. In fact, Sparks played more games with the Leafs and Marlies each than Enroth played with the Kings at all. So the only thing you might have to combat with Enroth is rust, and hopefully he gets to work that out at the World Cup, because he's now on Team Sweden. He's one of 9 Leafs players going, plus the coach. What's his name? Oh yeah, Babcock. Oh God, I love that we have him. So, good contract, zero problem with it. Yes, the Leafs are technically over the cap right now, and yes, that is a little scary. But there's lots to still be worked out. We have no idea what's going on with the whole Jared Cowan thing. We don't know if Lupul's going to come off the books. There's the Robidas Island thing. There's Nathan Horton and all that crap. I just want to see him play hockey. I hate the numbers crap. Last but not least, pro tryout contracts. The Leafs signed Brandon Prust. Yeah, guys, to a pro tryout contract, which, by the way, is barely a contract. The Leafs also signed Roman Hrabarenka. He spells his name Ramen, and I really wanted to nickname him Noodles, but apparently it's Roman. And goalie Jeff Glass. So we got a forward defender and a goalie to talk about. Let's talk about them all. Prust had an awful, stinky, terrible year last season. He got traded from the Montreal Canadiens to the Vancouver Canucks, had a season full of injuries. I think he even got put on waivers at some point, and he played in the AHL as well, where, by the way, he had 7 points in 9 games. So I like to think that's a pretty good indicator that he's too good for the AHL. Now, 2 things here that are a little confusing. Why the Leafs feel like they needed to bring in Prust, because they have so many damn forwards. And likewise, why Prust felt the Leafs were the best option, because they have too many forwards. Now, it could be because they're thinking about signing him to like a 2-way deal or an AHL deal, and they want him to fill out that roster, be a veteran there. Or it could be that they want him to fill the roster while a bunch of players were off at the World Cup, or light a fire under the younger guys so they can compete for a spot. I don't really know, I'm not gonna lie. But I do have a theory, okay? I've spoken to some Habs fans. At his best, Brandon Prust was a gritty, excellent penalty killer. Didn't exactly put up points, but he was at very least that. What was Brooks like at his best with the Washington Capitals? I spoke to the guys at Russian Machine Never Breaks. He also was an excellent penalty killer and a dependable 20-goal guy. What was Milan Michalek at his best? Well, he was an excellent goal scorer. What was Roman Polak at his best? Well, at very least, he was a hard worker and very tough. Now, the reason I'm bringing up all these names is everyone seems to think that the Leafs are going to go into next season with like as many as 8 or 9 rookies in the lineup, which I'm not going to lie, I wouldn't be surprised if they did. But they want to surround them with these guys, these NHL veterans who were versions of what they want these prospects to be. Brooks had over 20 goals 3 times and over 50 points twice. That's what you want a middle of the lineup guy to be. Michalek's a former 30-goal scorer, and he used to be money in the bank for at least 20. Prust killed penalties efficiently, was tough, strong, you didn't want to mess with him. I would love to be able to say that about some of the 170-pound prospects the Leafs have, who, by the way, project to be far superior scorers to Prust, but I'm just saying. I do think it's important to the Maple Leafs that they have veterans that they can have mentor their prospects. Here's one. Go look at the Instagram account of like most of the Leafs prospects. I think I can remember William Nylander, Kasperi Kapanen, I want to say Connor Carrick too. They all shout out Rich Clune when they post a video of them working out. And it's probably because Clune says you better friggin' be working out, because he's the most jacked guy on the entire Marlies team, probably on the Leafs too. And you surround your strongest and fastest prospects with a guy like that to hopefully make them stronger and faster. Look, I'm not saying it's the best. I'm not saying I want the Leafs to even sign him. I'm just saying I get it. Roman Hrabarenka, Devils fans, help me out. I actually have no idea about this guy, other than he's a Lamoriello guy from the Devils past. And he's a defender with a right-handed shot, which means someday he'll make at least $5 million. As for the goalie, Jeff Glass. Hey, where have I heard that name before? Jeff Glass was the goalie on the greatest World Junior team of all time in 2005, Team Canada. His Twitter handle is GlassWall. I'm like, it's clever. Is it a joke? I hope it's a joke. That's funny. And it's pretty cool that he's getting a pro tryout deal with the Leafs. I wonder if he's trying to make a North American comeback. Maybe he'll take an AHL deal somewhere, because since 2009, he's been in the KHL. and he's actually been one of the better goalies in the league over that span. As James Myrtle pointed out, Freddie Anderson and Jonas Enroth both going to the World Cup. So who's left? Garrett Sparks, Antoine Bibeau, Kazimierz Kaskisuo, yes, but just have another goalie in there. No surprise, Glass added on a PTO. And that's all it is, guys, a PTO. And the Leafs love them. They had so many guys on PTOs and ATOs, amateur tryouts, on the Marlies. Holy smokes. Walking into Rico like, holy smokes, it's a sellout. Actually, those are just the scratches. So, there, you're all caught up, which means something huge is about to happen. So I'm going to wrap it up, especially because this feels like it's getting long. Usually when I'm out of practice, it does go long. How long is this going to be? How long is this going to take to edit? Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends.